Book 1, Bazur's Plot. Chapter 29. It is time to say goodbye to SeaFarer. Jack and I walked to our camp behind the last Caprito transport that Ilindra was taking with the last awakened one. That creature looked like one of the elves' tribes that we have had. I really could not tell. "Hey Jack," I said, "how are you holding up?" Jack looked at me smiling. "I am a little tired, but this is awesome. The best life ever. It is amazing that I get to be part of this amazing creature's crew helping Myrian folks. I am so grateful." I looked at him beaming. I was obviously more tired than him, but he had a good point. "Thank you, Jack. I needed that. I was solely focused on my energy levels and how I am feeling. I forgot to look things from different perspective. I am too grateful to be able to help Myrian folks. And it is so lovely to see when there are friends and family being awakened and when they hug and share the love being alive again. It is good that they do not remember the time being stone or tree or such. That is good." Jack looked at me curiously. "Yes, I see what you mean. It is if one just focuses on themselves, it is tiring, but the joy and love just is something that I have never experienced. It fuels me. It fills me up. And the magic that I can do. Wow!" I laughed at his enthusiasm. He did really cheer me up. We arrived at the camp. It was a bittersweet feeling to me. I knew SeaFarer was going to go home really soon. It was funny how he said he did not want to be around anyone, but here looking at him hassling all over everyone in the camp, one could not see any hermit in him. I smiled. All of the creatures had become really dear to me. And then there were my old friends, Dora and Tico. I know there were definitely not dogs here, but something, whatever I can call it, soul maybe, that connection is the same. They feel the same. They feel the same to me. I love them so much. Lovely smells were coming from the fire pit, and I had and some had started to eat already. We had so many now here due to many awakened ones, and the need for transport was constant. There were so many Capritors with Tico supporting the scouting. Capritor's abilities to hear and smell were amazing. They could smell and hear anything from far, far, far away. And how they silently ran in all kind of terrains, that was unbelievable. SeaFarer noticed us and said, "Want to have some chow?" signing his massive hand to the fire pit. "Definitely," Jack and I answered together same time. "We are hungry," I continued. The food was amazing again. It was just pure magic. Today we got some amazing tasting berries as well in a big bowls around the camp for dessert. They tasted so good. More bears skidded one after another to camp. There were huge platters for each of them waiting. They were so hungry. Elindra walked to them and gave them some remedy too and said, "Here, I know you don't really feel the need to have any, but take this. It helps your body to heal faster and be ready for the next days for all this running." All the more bears took the liquid bottles. Bottles were so small in their hands, and it is still amazing how they could manage to take the remedy in such graceful movements. After dinner, half of the Capritos tribe stood up. I could see all the original members and a couple of new members standing up. Tico stood up too. Half of my tribe is going back home to rest. My heart started to speed up. I realized I really did not want Tico to go. I felt safe when he was around. He must have sensed what I was feeling. He said, Sarah, I will stay. I need to rest at some point, but for now I will stay. We will rotate so that we have freshly rested Capritor scouting at all times. Tara spoke. Thank you so much. We appreciate your help keeping the rest of us safe and alert. This truly helps us to work in peace, she bowed. I followed with Jack, Tara's suit, and we got up and bowed. I said, I'm so grateful for all the help. I looked directly at their eyes and bowed. I felt so safe knowing that we would be warned in time if Bazur got a hint of us uncursing the creatures here. Capritor seemed to be more warm toward us now, and a couple of them mumbled something and bowed before they turned around, and they were gone in an instant. Tico seemed to get my wondering and said telepathically, and said, yes, you have been accepted, both of you, and he looked at me and Jack. I did not know what to say, so I bowed again with tears in my eyes. SeaFarer raised his cup of fairy nectar. I will leave at sunrise. It has been fun. I am happy you came to get me, and I could help Myrian folks. This has been a good place to live for so many centuries. To White Goddess and Myria, hear, hear, came from all directions. It was a good moment. I felt so overwhelmingly happy. I looked at Jack, and he also had tears in his eyes and smiled. I smiled back. Elindra got up and said, Tara, did you already have a game plan for tomorrow? Tara laughed. Of course, you know me. Everyone smiled and laughed. Elindra walked to the SeaFarer. Here, I have a big bottle for you, for the land sickness remedy. You take only about 1/10 part of the bottle when you need to. So you have a remedy for 9 other times whenever you might need in the future. Just in case our medic elves are not around if you happen to need it. It is wise for you to have this. SeaFarer looked at the big bottle and reached for it. It looked like a tiny bottle in his hand, but it was surely bigger than the minuscule ones earlier. He pocketed it securely. Thank you, Elindra. It may come into use. One never knows. This is good stuff. I don't feel sick at all on land with this. Tara looked around at the fire pit. I followed her eyes. There were not many left compared to this morning. We had Tico, few Capritors, 3 Morbens were there, me, Jack, Tara, and Dora were there. And from underground elves we had actually many left. Elindra, Arnor, Tim and Tom, and then 4 more who I did not know names of. Tara looked at Elindra. Are you going to go rest? Elindra replied. Yes. Me and Arnor will go with 2 of our younger ones here. They have only just started to practice medical remedies. This was a good and safe place to have an experience, but it is not good to go for the next few days with them. They will not have all the knowledge needed yet. Here are the 2 elves, Sylvessa and Elowen. Tim and Tom, Sylvessa and Elowen, are all very experienced, and they are younger than me. They can endure long hours of healing. There's a help on the way wherever you will be in Myria, and we will later switch to other members. So these 4 will get some rest when the time is right. Oh, I will miss you, Elindra, I said. It was so true. I was so accustomed to the old lady being behind me. Now that I looked at her, I saw she was so tired. Thank you for helping us and giving us precious knowledge of remedies. She looked at us with tears in her eyes. You brought me back my grandbabies. I'm happy to help, and I will return later in rotation. There are still many members we hope to find. Arnor and I will follow your progress with other elf tribes and get you messages and food to the next place, so you are able to uncurse them, all of them. Morbears need a lot of good food since they do all the transports, and Capritors need their power foods to be able to be alert all the time. Just as she stopped speaking, we heard birds squeaking on the river. Tara yelled, "Are the flickering Colkins finally coming back?" She was trying to see to the sky. Everyone was looking at the sky, and finally we saw 2 birds flying in. They were Feather Dance and Sea Wren. Tara yelled, "Thank goodness you're alive. We were all getting worried. Fly here." She had put a chair by her side, so both birds were easily to land on it. And it has a food cup for them, ready with the fairy nectar beside it. "Are you all right? Do you need anything? How was it? Did you make it okay to Fairyland?" Tara kept asking. Severin laughed. One at a time. "Elindra, do you happen to have something to help us? We are okay. The way was just very long and we're exhausted." Elindra nodded and brought some elixir to them. She dropped a few drops in their fairy nectar, and both Feather Dance and Severin started to drink right away. Once they had little to eat, Feather Dance started to say, "Trip went okay. It was very long. Fairies were happy to see the lost members, and they took them for healing. They will be fine, but it will take some time to recover for fairies fully. What is concerning is what we saw in the skyline on the way back. We returned the same way back, flying over the waterway rivers and then following the coastline all around the islands. When we were taking off for the return trip, the skyline from the north, there were some bizarre colors and cracking noises coming. It was very loud since we heard them all the way down to the fairyland. Fairies are now in 3rd woods and Bazur in the 6th woods, so there's some distance." Everyone got real quiet. Tara finally spoke. "Good information. We know he's doing something. We always expected we would run into him some point. We just hope that is rather later than sooner, so we have had time to uncurse many of the creatures." Everyone nodded. Elindra and Arnor went to shake SeaFarer's hand and said, "It was great to meet you. Have a good trip home to the south. We should figure out a way for you to communicate with us elves, since you are all alone there in the south. You could then reach out to us, and it might also be really good to have a way to communicate overall." SeaFarer looked happy. "Yes, that's brilliant. What do you have in mind?" Arnor went closer to him, and they had intense whispers for a moment. Tara explained to me and Jack, "It is better if we don't know the elves' way to communicate. It's an honor for SeaFarer to be in their network, but it would be not good for us to know how they communicate. Not all elves know that either. It is mostly elder elves only who know how to pass information, and normally there's a second one who knows if something goes wrong. But these 2, elder and the second, are not allowed to leave the hiding homes at the same time due to the challenging times." That made sense. Elindra and Arnor waved byes for the rest of us. We would see each other later. And they went their ways to elves' underground tunnels, which again, nobody else had any clue how to get in. The 4 younger underground medical elves stayed with us. I looked around and saw Deep Claw Morburn, and I asked, "Are you staying with us?" Deep Claw nodded. "We have lost quite a few Morburns. It seems that Bazur wants them, a lot of them, to be in his army, and they are all not cursed rocks or such elements, but they are chanted to follow and do tasks for him. We are hoping we will be able to awaken them later once we get closer to Sixth Woods, Bazur's place. In our tribe we have quite many few young and elderly Morburns, but the warrior age ones we have now lost. We will stay in the crew until we have some start until we need to start switching up for some reason. We have a good storage of Elindra's remedies, so we will be able to do our parts." "Oh, I'm so sorry," I said. How are we going to do the uncursing of the army?" I looked at SeaFarer. He looked at me and said, "Easy and hard. Observing the creatures and after speaking many of the awakened ones, I am fairly sure that it is the same spell you use to awaken. I expect you to get better at it also in time, so the spell gets stronger. The problem will be for you to be close enough for the army members to have an effect. They are not themselves, and for sure they are not themselves like they are not who they are without the spell, and they will attack you for sure. My assumption is that you will form a play how you and Jack will be close enough, but somehow at least semi-protected. You will perform the spell at the same time, so it becomes stronger as well. Also, your skills will get better and better, and therefore you can perform the spell further and in a stronger manner. It will be challenging for sure, but at that point you will be skilled enough." I looked at him stunned. I looked at Jack, who seemed to be fixated on SeaFarer. Jack did not look scared or stunned. He just looked almost happy. SeaFarer continued, You are actually already skilled enough. It's just that you need to build your own confidence. You already are doing uncursing. You already uncursed the army cursed ones. You do have the proper skills. It is just the same thing. The only difference is that the target may charge at you, and you need to be careful. Tara nodded. Yes. Sorry, we did not want to scare you yet, so that is why me, Tora, and SeaFarer only had this part of the plan thought out. Tara looked remorseful. Jack replied, "Well, for me that makes sense. We just need to have a good plan, and we will try to uncurse them. Sarah?" I looked at them. I am a little unsure of this, but I guess my confidence is not yet on the needed level. I don't think right now I could do it. SeaFarer laughed. "Don't worry, Sarah. Nobody's ready when they are born. You will get there." His voice was soothing. And it is true that in a couple days I had mastered skills that I never thought I had. I took a deep breath and smiled. "Okay, I will not worry about it now," I said. Tara spoke again. "So, this is our crew for tomorrow. SeaFarer will leave in the morning, but otherwise this is it. We will leave early in the morning. That is why the breakfast foods have been prepared today, and they are ready for us in the morning for a quick breakfast. We are now in the Second Wood South Beach. We used to have many villages here in the Second Woods, so we will know the known trails between villages, and we will need to check the routes between and the abandoned villages for cursed ones. Tomorrow there will be a lot of walking. Since we still are in the second woods, we thought with SeaFarer that it's safe to split us up to two groups, and we will join at the north side of the second woods again. This will give us advantage to cover the second woods faster. She paused and looked around. I did not like the split, but it really sounded like a good idea. We are not close to Bazur yet, she was continuing. The target is that we cover the whole second woods tomorrow. I asked, is that feasible? Tara looked at me. Yes, Toran, I think so. We checked with Arnor the villages and routes, and we think that we can cover the whole second woods in a day. Great, that means that we will be together next evening again. Tara spoke again. First group will be Tora, Jack, one of the Moor Barons, just one member, since expectation is that the west route does not have so many awakened ones, and Tim and Tom. Tico, who from Capritors will be joining that group. Tico nodded for 4 members that would join the group. Deep Claw said from Moor Barons, I will join that group. Tara nodded. The rest of you are in the second group with me. That is also for you, Feather Dance and Severin. We will have the east side, where we have 3 abandoned villages. Sarah, you may want also to take some supportive elixirs from underground elves during the lunch tomorrow, so that you will have a good energy the whole day. Noted, I said. I will take something from Sylvessa and Elowen. The 2 elf ladies nodded and checked their pouches and briefly discussed something. I noticed their pouches were much bigger than what Jack and I had. Tara asked, does anyone want anything more to eat? Nobody wanted anything. I looked around, and the hammocks were there again in their places. So we went all into our beds, hammocks. I actually had not paid attention where Capritos slept normally, but they did not do the overnight. They did do all the overnight scouting, so I guess they were rotating who was sleeping and who was not. The work was tough. I looked at the sky and I realized it must be quite late, since the sky was full of stars and it was very, very dark already. Now that the fire was out, it was clear how black the night was. And it was warm. Actually, here in Myria, it always seemed to have a really nice temperature day and night. I started to get really drowsy. Maybe tomorrow I remember to ask if there is ever cold weather in Myria. And I fell asleep.